The JBL Live Pro 2 are absolutely ram-packed with features, from active noise cancellation, 6 microphones for calls, and 11mm dynamic drivers. Now we'll be touching upon all the features you need to know about these earbuds, and they can be found for around £130 in the UK and around $150 in the US. Links in the description below will take you to your relevant stores, and before proceeding with this video overview and setup guide, I'd just like to thank JBL for actually sponsoring it. So to kick off this video, I want to talk about connectivity, and these earbuds have got Bluetooth 5.2 built in with LE support, which is great, but better still, they've also got multi-point with pretty much no sort of limit in terms of the amount of devices you can connect up to, which is just absolutely fantastic to see no matter the overall price point of these earbuds. Now this means that you can be listening to a movie or watching a YouTube video on your laptop, and then if you've already paired up to your smartphone before and you start getting a call on your phone, it means you can instantaneously switch to your smartphone, and that makes it just all that bit more intuitive. Now in terms of Bluetooth codec support, these earbuds are limited to the SBC and AAC codecs only. So with that in mind, it brings me on to performance, and despite their relatively small form factor, the JBL Live Pro 2 house 11mm dynamic drivers, which is actually quite rare to see. Better still, they follow the Harman target curve and have still got that lively JBL sound signature, which will definitely be appealing to a lot of people. Now if you don't want that default sound, you can of course EQ it to your heart's content. It's actually really impressive that JBL have provided a multi-band EQ that you can pretty much customize to the nth degree, and we'll be touching upon this further down in this video. Now I should mention over here that if you want to achieve the best sort of sound from these earbuds, you're going to want to ensure that they fit properly, and thankfully here JBL have actually thought about this. They've got an oval tube design in terms of their nozzle, they've also provided small, medium and large silicone tips, and better still provided a fit test that can be performed via the app, and therefore means that you've got the right sort of seal. Of course, ensuring you've got the right sort of seal and the right sort of tips means that you're going to get the best out of those 11mm dynamic drivers, and as such is something that I would highly recommend. Now a good seal not only provides you superior audio fidelity, but it will also give you better passive noise isolation, and therefore means that you can focus on the music or the content that you're listening to with these earbuds in your ears. Now these earbuds also have adaptive noise cancellation technology, and as the name might suggest, if you're in a quiet office environment and then were to step outside of the office and be in a very busy road, it means that these earbuds will automatically adapt to the different change in environment. Now if you're going to be crossing that road, they have got ambient aware, and therefore means that you can hear your surroundings while the earbuds are still placed within your ear canals. Now just after crossing the road, you get a phone call, and yes, I'm trying to paint a picture in your head. And here you might be wondering about how these earbuds will sound like. Well, suffice to say, everything you can hear right now is coming directly from the earbuds, if it wasn't obvious already, because the earbuds are actually in my ear while I am talking. Now, better still, these earbuds also have side tones, which you can enable or disable. Now, side tones give you the ability to hear back your own voice. Why is this useful? Well, if you're in a kind of quiet environment, so for example, an office environment, and you might be overly talking quite loud because, well, you've got good passive noise isolation, it means that you're going to keep your voice a little bit lower and therefore not going to be overly shouting while you are talking and therefore disturbing all your colleagues or people who are walking randomly on the street. Nevertheless, it's great to see that JBL have included the side tone functionalities, which you can enable or disable via the app. Now also through the app, you also have the ability to enable the voice assistants. And here you've got Google Assistant and Amazon Alexa support, which is fantastic. It means that you can use the wake words in order to perform certain actions or ask, for example, for the weather. Now, if you don't want to use these, you can use the built-in voice assistant of your smartphone. In my case, I've got a Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus, and therefore it would be activating Bixby on the go. Now, having referenced the app quite a few times, let's actually dive into it. And here you can see the left and right earbud levels and also the charging case. Note the charging case will only update whilst you plug the earbuds back into them. Now here you've got ambient sound control, where you've got active noise cancellation, ambient aware and talk through. On the first mode, on customize ANC, you can enable or disable active ANC, and of course choose your own ANC levels that you prefer. So for example, on the highest mode towards the lowest mode, I would suggest running the adaptive ANC enabled, and likewise with the leakage compensation and the ear canal compensation. Now you have got an ear canal test, which is not going to work right now because I'm in the quiet environment, but nevertheless, when you're in a noisy environment, say for example if you're on a train, you'll want to conduct that test in order to you to have a customized ANC and one that's quite appropriate to you. Now in terms of the ambient aware, yet again over here you can customize the levels, which is quite handy, and therefore means as to how much of your external environments you're going to be able to hear. And you've also got that talk through function, which effectively tries to replicate you just talking in a normal level, and therefore means that you're not going to be overly loud. Now in terms of the equalizer, I really love the fact that JBL have provided you a custom EQ. Now from mine, I've got a different sort of curve, and of course this will depend in terms of your own hearing profile, so I'd very much suggest running this in terms of your own music and adjusting as you might want to. You can see over here you can copy my curve if you so wish. If you listen to, let's say, R&B music and you've got similar ears to me, then this might be quite relevant to you, but of course, as I said, it might be worth you doing your own curve and for you to determine in terms of your own music you're listening to. If you don't want to faff around with that, then you can go to the preset EQs that are over here, for example jazz, vocal, bass, club or studio. Club gives you a little bit more of a boomy sound, while the studio tries to replicate more of a flat sort of sound signature, or one that's a little bit analytical. So it depends in terms of your own taste, and of course, as I said, I would very much suggest you doing your own equalizer. If you don't want the EQ function altogether, you can completely disable it. Now as for the smart audio and video, I found this quite interesting. It's in order to reduce the latency. I had absolutely no problems when it came to latency with my Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus running on the AAC codecs, but if you find that there's some sort of latency problems, you can run on the video mode, which effectively tries to reduce the latency between you and the device while not preferring the overall audio quality. So of course it depends in terms of what you're using. You can run it on the smart mode and therefore automatically adjust on the fly, but as I said before, I had no problems whatsoever when it came to the lip sync delay. Now in terms of gestures, both the left and earbuds can be adjusted independently. You've got a set of preset modes that you can choose from: ambient sound control, volume control, playback and voice assistant, or you can completely disable them if you so wish. Within the ambient sound control, which I quite like, here you've got the ability to have noise cancellation, ambient aware and off. You'll have to select two of these options, but you can disable the third one if you're not going to be using it. You've got double tap and also tap and hold function as well, and also triple tap functions depending on the modes that you're choosing. So for example, on the playback one, you've got the ability to play, pause, go on the next track, and also go previous, and also enable your voice assistant. Speaking of which, in terms of the voice assistant, if you were to press that button there, you can set up the voice assistant both on Google Assistant or Amazon Alexa, or use the one that's native to your phone. Now going back through the app over here, you have got that voice assistant toggle, which is the same that we just talked about, and you've also got the ability to enable play pause, which will effectively pause your music when the earbuds are out of your ear. Now elsewhere you do have the voice aware, which allows you to hear your own tones. So for example, the side tones that I was referencing before, this allows you to hear your own voice and adjust the volume as you are going along. So you can enable it or disable it. In my case, I don't actually like hearing my own voice when I am on a call, so therefore I leave it disabled, but of course it completely depends on you. As for the voice prompts, it's pretty self-explanatory. You've got a variety of different languages to choose from, and it means that you can hear in terms of what the voices are, for example if ANC is enabled or disabled, and you can also disable it altogether if you don't want to hear that voice prompt altogether. Now aside from that, you do also have the check my best fit, which I did reference before, and you also have the ability to find your earbuds. Note you definitely do not want to have these earbuds within your ear like I have right now to play that tone, but it is quite loud, but it can be quite handy to find your left or right earbud independently. Let's say for example you drop them behind your sofa. You do also have a power saving feature which you can enable, in other words auto power off or auto standby. It's not features that I personally use, but of course that can be handy for yourself. And finally, in terms of the support, you've got the ability to have a little bit more information of how to set up the earbuds. You can factory reset them, check the software is up to date, and also check your serial number. Now aside from the app, the earbuds also have got 40 hours of battery life, and that is 10 hours from the earbuds themselves and 30 hours that comes from the charging case. Note if you were to enable active noise cancellation, this drops to 8 and 22 hours respectively. Now thankfully the earbuds also have got rapid charge and have got wireless QI charging support as well. Via the rapid charge, a quick 15-minute blast via the USB Type-C port will result in a whopping 4 hours of playback, which is great if you're going to be going out on a quick commute. Now the earbuds are also IPX5 waterproof and sweatproof, so therefore you don't have to worry while you're out on the go, and And the earbuds that I currently have are the black color, but they're also available in a silver, blue and a rose finish. So there we have it. Hopefully you've enjoyed my setup guide and overview of the JBL Live Pro 2. If you have, definitely let me know in the comment section below. I'll also be intrigued to know what you make of the earbuds. Now it goes without saying, I'd just like to thank JBL for actually sponsoring this video yet again, and also for you guys for actually watching it. If you've made it this far, kudos to you. Now if you haven't already, definitely do consider dropping a like, subscribing and hitting that bell notification. It is all very much appreciated. As such, I've been Totally Dubbed, and I'll hopefully see you in the next one. Take care of yourselves, and goodbye.